Cindy.
The weekend, a major election in Taiwan. I want to bring in now a senior fellow at the Gatestone Institute, also author of just released booklet, China is Going to War, Gordon Chang. Gordon, first, I guess the guy we wanted to win won, and it's sort of very defined in terms of a little bit more defined than his party itself from what I'm reading. At this point, is this what we want? Do we want more saber rattling between Taiwan and China?
No, we don't want more saber rattling. But the point is, even the pro-sovereignty candidate who won, William Lai of the Democratic Progressive Party, China is going to throw a hissy fit whoever wins. And the reason is they want the president of Taiwan to surrender. So whether it was a pro-China or a pro-Taiwan candidate who's win, Beijing is going to create tension in the next several months.
So I'm looking at world reaction to Taiwan's election. President Biden starts off his reaction. We do not support independence. The British foreign minister saying congratulations. We hope they can resolve their differences peacefully. Japan's foreign minister saying something very similar. We want peace and stability in the region, hopefully through peaceful dialogue. Germany saying the same thing. And Russia coming in strong. Taiwan is an integral part of China. The reason I bring this up is, and we're not really supporting the freedom or the independence of the folks in Taiwan. If I'm in Taiwan, I feel like it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, well, President Biden's comments were clearly inappropriate. I mean, they were technically consistent with our one China policy, but the point is the President of the United States, the leader of the greatest democracy in the world, should congratulate a democratic election, regardless of who won.
Right.
And he didn't do that. And really what he did was he was repeating Chinese talking points.
Right.
And the people in Beijing, they see that and they say, oh, now we can press the advantage.
Now, speaking of pressing the advantage, China's economy is looking really sloppy. I mean, it was sloppy coming out of COVID. The sort of zero COVID policy wasn't great. That one-child policy has caught up to them. We're looking now, the manufacturing is leaving. The cost per hour for China is just prohibitive. It doesn't make sense anymore. And so all of these things point to even their inflation, right? They don't have disinflation. They're going to deflation. Their economy looks like it's really in trouble. Is there any way America could take advantage of that?
Well, certainly. I mean, because China needs access to the American market, and we could put conditions on that. So, for instance, you had President Trump's 2018 tariffs, Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974. Those are remedies for the theft of U.S. intellectual property. China hasn't stopped stealing our stuff. So we could raise those tariffs or threaten to raise those tariffs. We could push China in a better direction. China today said, oh, we're going to grow 5.2% in 2023.
Right.
This was the premier in Davos. No, they've got deflation, they've got exports and imports falling, they've got a lot of other indicators saying consumption's not doing well, and they can't be growing at 5%.
Now, could the flip side of this be with the first time we ever seen a negative foreign direct investment in China, the flip side be that Belt and Road, for all of these years that we really weren't pushing back and paying attention, for instance, in Mexico, they're going to be making EVs in Mexico and selling them in America. We can't compete against it, not for a price. I mean, so is it too late to really push back?
No, I mean, all those EVs that China's selling, they had enormous central government subsidies, which were WTO non-compliant. There are all sorts of things that we can do on this. And, they need our market. So, the question is, even if they were to comply with the WTO, we could just say no.
We could, but we never do.
We never do. We never impose costs on China's trade violations, or say if we do, it's just so minor.
Yeah.
Slap on the wrist.
It's like UPS paying parking tickets, right, in Manhattan. Let me ask you this, though. It feels like, and we've talked about this years ago, but it really feels like now the end of Pax Americana. I mean, we're not going to be the world's policeman anymore. They're having trouble raising more money for Ukraine. We've got the issue in the Middle East. Americans are just kind of tired of it. If it is the end of Pax Americana, what does it mean for the world?
Well, there's no Pax Americana because there's no Pax. We've got a war in Ukraine. We've got insurgencies in North Africa fueled by China and Russia that look like wars. We got the war in the Middle East, and God knows what's going to happen in East Asia. The problem here is that you're looking at a situation like 1939, where you got these wars all over the world, and they merge into what we now call World War II. The thing is, it could happen this time as well, especially because Biden is not using U.S. power. What we need is a Ronald Reagan. If we had a Ronald Reagan who said, we win, they lose, we'd win.
Well, you're talking about drawing lines and adhering to those lines, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're seeing, the Houthi militia attack U.S.-owned vessels, attack U.S. warships, And yes, there have been a few counterattacks on the part of the Biden administration, but they haven't worked because the Houthis continue to come at us because they don't respect us. Well, this is Iran not expecting us.
Would you send a missile into Iran? Because we know that's the proxy, that they're the ones who are pulling the strings.
Yeah, what I would do is shut off their sales of oil. We could do that with the U.S. Navy. And we need to do that because they've been violating everybody's sanctions.
Gordon, great stuff. Always appreciate it. Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year, Charles.
All right, folks, my town hall becoming unbreakable just days